terrible accident happened close to where I live a while back. So background story to this is that a woman was struck by a drunk driver and the woman tragically passed away. Some friends and locals around town have claimed that when you drive at night, around the same time the accident happened, that you can see the woman standing around. Although it sounds creepy, I for one don't believe in that kind of stuff. I always need people to go over their heads whenever they bring up ghosts or spirits. Nonetheless, my wife believes in those things, and she says she will never go there alone. I don't know for what reason, but it made me want to try it out. So I asked her to go with me. She said I was crazy, but I somehow persuaded her to go. I was trying to scare her, just for laughs. Next thing I know, we're driving to the supposed haunted road. Now the woman died, I believe, around 2 in the morning. As I pulled onto the road, you can just feel a different vibe coming from it. My wife and I both looked at each other, but I just kept driving. It was a little dirt road, and somewhere in the middle of nowhere. Now, I don't know exactly the spot where the accident happened, but I assume there will be crosses and some flowers somewhere. I drove slowly down the road, and the only visible light was from the moon. Not a single street light. I tried to scare my wife by stopping completely. She said, "What's going on?" I told her I'm gonna run outside. She simply said, "You're insane, don't do that." I got out of the car and went behind it to scare my wife. But I immediately stopped when I heard noise come from behind me. I tried to see, but with the darkness, you can't really focus. I walked a bit towards it and tried to get a better hear. I pulled out my phone flashlight to see better. My wife yelled out, "Hey, where are you going?" "Shh," I said. As I went further and further in, I could hear footsteps, like a couple of feet away from me. I wasn't scared because it could be a ghost. I got scared that it was probably someone trying to do something. I simply turned around and walked back to the car. But once I started walking back, I could hear the footsteps come inching closer and closer. I flashed my light in the direction, but there was nothing. I got inside the car, and my wife asked, "What's wrong?" I said, "I don't know. I just started to hear noises." But this is where things started to get real for me. As my wife and I sat in the car, our back door on my side opened up slowly. I just sat there in shock. There was nobody who could have opened it. So I got out and looked around for a bit, and then I closed it. My wife just sat there and looked at me. I looked back at her. We didn't say anything. But once I got back in, we heard somebody scream. I put it in drive and didn't waste any minute to get out of there. I sped through the road, eventually got on a main road. I'm telling you, if you heard this scream in person, it would send down chills. Once we got home, we agreed not to go there again. I can sort of explain all the noises, but the doors will really set me off. There's no way that the wind can do that. My wife and I believe the scream was from the woman that died. All I know, to not go back there. And if anyone knows that road, to just be careful. My story takes place with a couple of friends trying to get some drinks and have a good time. I have my friends that I'll call Jake, Josh, Irma, Anna, and Clarissa. So Jake's uncle has this house that he rents out. But his uncle says that it's hard to keep people there because they say it's haunted and that they hear things they can't explain. For young people to hear that, it's sort of a gold mine, because you always have those friends that like to live in the moment and be dumb with a house all to themselves. So of course, my friend Jake told us, and we said hell yeah. We bought drinks and snacks, and we all bragged how cool and lit it would be. Obviously, only the 6 of us, but we make do. We agreed on a weekend we would stay, and Jake's uncle followed suit. It was during spring break, so Jake's uncle showed us around, and it was actually really nice inside. The house had a nice kitchen and an upstairs bedroom. I was really trying to call my shots with Clarissa, but I wanted to see if she was interested. Pretty much the main reason I came through to this. Anyways, we set up a table for snacks and drinks, and just put on funny movies. As the night came, we wanted to play Spin the Bottle. Of course, we were already drinking, so make it much more interesting. We cracked some jokes, had some laughs, and enjoyed each other's company. Once it was my turn to spin the bottle, I tried to get it to land on Clarissa. So I spun it, and it landed on her. I asked her, truth or dare? And she said truth. I said, is it true that you like someone from the 6 of us? She just smiled at me, and everyone seemed to try to hype her up because they knew I liked her. We both knew what was up, and I was laughing a lot, probably from the alcohol. We'll play more games, and we all talked. Eventually, Jake started talking about the house, and how people say it's haunted. We all listened to what he said, and from my understanding of the story, that there's been 2 people who passed away years ago in the house. I think one of natural causes. But the other one, that there was a murder that happened a long time ago. They said a girl was strangled in an upstairs bedroom. It was pretty spooky, but it was interesting to listen to. It was around 3 a.m., and all of us were getting tired. Jake said that he was going to sleep, and Josh and the girls were still up. I wanted to be with Clarissa, but we heard Jake make some noise from upstairs. I went up there to check on him, but he was fast asleep already. I went downstairs, but again, I could hear the noise from the room. I went inside, but it was quiet. Once I checked on him, I heard noise from underneath the bed, like a box move. I checked underneath, and there was nothing but shoeboxes. I just brushed it off and went back downstairs. The girls were getting kind of tired, so they went to go to sleep in the other room. It was only Josh and I, and we just relaxed a bit and watched some TV. After a while, Josh and I heard some weird stuff coming from upstairs. We thought it was Jake, so we tried to hear better. All you could hear from upstairs was a person murmuring something. We thought Jake was messing with us, so I went upstairs with Josh, and we opened Jake's door. He was still sleeping. I was a bit confused. We tried to wake him up, but he wouldn't budge. That was strange, I said. We decided to go sleep with Jake this time. I laid on the ground to sleep, and I fell asleep pretty quickly. Next thing I know, I woke up to the sound of something. It sounded like underneath the bed. I moved and squinted my eyes to see, and I froze. What I was seeing was some next level stuff. I saw the figure of a person in a crawling position underneath the bed. I felt like I was seeing stuff. The figure seemed so sinister. I was scared. But then the figure rushed towards me. I screamed and I got up. I woke up Jake and Josh, and they both said, "What's wrong?" I was stuttering, and I said that there was someone underneath the bed. Josh checked, and he said there's no one there. I told him I swear I saw someone there. He said he believed me, and they checked the room in the house. Once we checked the room, we heard the girls scream. Us three rushed towards them. The girls all came out and said someone was in the room. They said a woman told them to get out. And that's when they screamed. They were all scared. I was scared. I don't know what I just saw. Jake said let's wait it out until he tells his uncle. So we all stayed there until it was day. I explained the story to my parents, but they're just as speechless as I am. This was the first time I really experienced fear.